Hi everybody! This video is to help you set up your Google Chats for the new school year. Now we no longer have Hangouts, and this program is very similar to Hangouts, but it also has some cool features that are a little different. And we're going to be setting up something called Rooms for our students this time, and that's a little different than before. So let's get started. So I'm here in my school email, and you can access everything you need over here on the side. So you can see these are chats, like a group chat or an individual chat, or then rooms that I have set up. You can make a new room by pressing this plus sign, and you can see you can start an individual message by putting in a person's name, a group message, a room. You could look for rooms, find a bot, and message requests. We're going to focus here on create room. Now before I do that, you could also access all of this by coming over here to the 9 dots, and you can click on chat. This will open you up to a separate tab because some of you might want to work with a different tab open from your lesson so you can constantly get into the different chats. So this might be a cleaner view for you if you open it here instead of working through your email. Also, if you have a Mac, you could search for Google Chat and you'll find that app pop up, and you could drag it to your dock if you would like, and then it'll be there for you always to open up that way. So if you see I open up my dock, and I can also access it. It looks similar to that tab in Chrome. Now, so let's get started on making our rooms. So for this year, we are going to use rooms with our students. It's important that you make a room and not a group chat. So the way you're going to do that is by coming up here to this search bar, and if you click in it, these options will appear. So then you're going to create a room, and the administration would like us to have simplified names for our rooms, so I can't have Miss Jaramillo's amazing science class as a title. So I'm going to be a little boring, and I'm going to put 8th grade science, and I'm going to put the color because this is who I see first on a blue day, this group. You don't need to do that if you don't switch like middle school teachers do. You can also, if you would like, to add an emoji to it. So I teach science and maybe I want it to stand out a little bit like nature, so I put a bird. You are required to add Kevin as well as Mr. Zukowicz to your chat. And also add a co-teacher if you have one, like maybe Miss Otto, for example. Then you'll start adding your students. So you'll just start putting in their emails and adding them individually. Please only add students that are on your class roster as of now, and only add new students as we get emails from Andrea showing that they've been approved. Once you have that, you can click create and it'll notify the person in their email, but it'll also pop up over here when they've been invited to a room in their email. So I've already made my room here, and what you're going to see is I can add people whenever I want by pressing this button. It'll always be at the top. And then you're going to start a conversation by clicking a thread. Now, a thread is what makes rooms unique because you can have multiple discussions happening at once. I suggest that in the beginning, you only start with one thread, but as you start teaching and kids have questions that are different than what you're talking about in one thread, they might click new thread. And so for example, you can see here that there are multiple threads going in this chat. So here's one thread. You can see it's sectioned off, where in this thread, there's multiple messages here and it's sectioned off. But down here it says new thread in science team. So each of those threads are different conversations happening. So that's why I suggest, because it could be confusing at first for your students, to start with one thread. Within those threads, you can write a message, put emojis, upload a file or picture, attach a Google Doc, and when you attach a Google Doc, it will allow anyone in that group to have viewing and commenting rights right away on the document. So you don't have to reshare it or have a special sharing settings. And then the Google Meet will send a Meet link, and whoever sends the video Meet has control of muting microphones but anyone in the group could record. They'll have recording permissions, but only the person who sends this can control muting the group. So that's how you make your rooms. One last thing before we go, I wanted to show you that you can always leave a room. So for example, I can leave this room here, but you can always return. Or you can turn off notifications if the room is getting to be too much, and you can turn them back on. If you leave a room, the way you would find it again is by going to Browse Rooms. And any room you've ever been invited to will be there. So here's the room that I just left. I can preview it to check that it's the room I think it is. And then I can click the plus sign and I'll be added to the room again. So I now see the room back over here. So you can always come back to the rooms. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that was helpful.